It's a virtual world generated by a computer which claims to be an alternative to real life. Second Life is so popular it now boasts almost 10 million residents and an economy generating more than $50 million a year. Household names like IKEA and Peugeot have rushed to take part, while some countries have even established virtual embassies there. It is the brainchild of California entrepreneur Philip Rosedale, named by Time magazine as one of the world's 100 most influential people. But there is a price. Mr. Rosedale and his company, Linden Labs, are facing lawsuits from furious residents who claim they've been ripped off. Our Washington correspondent Sarah Smith obtained an exclusive interview with Mr. Rosedale, the man behind this brave new world.
It's an entire digital world that boasts it's been imagined and created by its residents. While they've made it such a global phenomena, it's now also making a lot of people an awful lot of money. If you want to have a second life, first you need a second identity. You can customize your avatar or computer character to look like you or as different as you want. It may appear like one, but Second Life is not a computer game. There are no rules. It's just life, virtually. So my avatar can head to a nightclub and meet some of the 9 million other people who live this way. But wouldn't they be better concentrating on their real lives?
Historically, when we've gone into online worlds, they've been simpler than reality. They've made reality simpler. So rather than having to make friends and negotiate social architectures, we can just kill monsters. But if you look at the rise of virtual worlds like Second Life and you look at what people are doing there, it is in many cases more entrepreneurially challenging, more socially challenging to establish your place in that online society in Second Life than it is in the real world. We just moved into this place, and it's not nearly as weird as it's going to be soon.
Philip Rosedale insists he's built a new country rather than a new kind of game, one that will make him a very rich man, already named by Time magazine as one of the real world's most influential people. The real world's invaded pretty quickly, as real-life organizations grasp the power of this parallel existence. Companies like IBM have virtual meetings to discuss real business. You can test drive real cars like the new Peugeot. Virtual churches attract larger congregations than they get offline. Even virtual embassies have opened representing real countries. It's a huge and complex world that was born here in a tiny office in a San Francisco back street. Most of the residents inside Second Life have no idea why they pay for everything in Linden dollars in a world created in Linden Labs. But the answer's right here in the real world. It all started in Linden Alley, San Francisco.
But there's definitely a large international community.
Linden became a huge business success when they started selling virtual land to their residents. You can spend Linden dollars to buy your own plot or island and build somewhere for your avatar to live. There's a limitless supply, and you have to spend real money to buy it, so is it really yours? If somebody buys a piece of land in Second Life, though, do they own that land?
Absolutely. They own it. Probably the most significant aspect of ownership is your ability to resell it, to develop it, to make changes to it in any way that you like, and then to resell it at any time and, for any price.
But Linden are being sued by one former resident who spent hundreds of real US dollars on virtual land that the company says he paid too little for. In dispute, all his property was confiscated. He wasn't reimbursed. But if he owned it all, how could it be taken from him?
When you say own, it means own. It doesn't mean rent, it doesn't mean license, it doesn't mean any funny legal terms. And recently in the lawsuit they say that those ownership is just a metaphor or analogy, and what they're really saying is that you have a license to computing resources, which obviously I think is far different than owning something.
This case will be crucial because a lot of money is changing hands and the law is vague. Linden dollars can be exchanged for real US dollars, so it's possible to make a living virtually. A German real estate developer became the first Second Life millionaire this year. But success brings its own problems. The site's already being investigated for possible tax evasion and child porn. Avatars don't need new clothes to wear or furniture to sit on, but they are in fact just as consumerist as their owners. And they've created an annual turnover of $50 million. You can even buy a virtual perfume.
Why is it more fun to do that in a virtual world? The answer is presence. The answer is you can do it with your friends. So you can engage other people in a collaborative experience in the virtual world, which is what we all want.
You should kill yourself. Get rid of yourself now.
The real experience of living with schizophrenia, of hearing and seeing threatening hallucinations,
Get the gun out of the holster and shoot yourself. Get the gun, do it now.
has been replicated inside Second Life by the University of California. It's a way to teach psychiatric students what patients suffer.
You're dead. You're dead.
It's very hard to just tell somebody that a patient has hallucinations. It's much easier to actually get them to sit in front of a computer or in a closed environment and have them listen to the things and see things that are abnormal.
Some serious people take Second Life very seriously, even building political campaign headquarters. I took a stroll through Hillaryland and found she'd introduced some dolphins to entice the voters. There are already quite a few Second Life celebrities. You can film your own TV reports, but they don't yet look like real television. As the technology improves, you could soon find you're the star of your own movie.
When you walk into the virtual world 10 years from now, you're going to be walking into a world that looks like stepping through the screen of a film. And that's an amazing thought. As we go forward here, you're going to be asking yourself whether you're spending enough time in online worlds, because they're going to be more challenging than the real world.
Hey.
Sarah Smith, Channel 4 News, inside the virtual world of Second Life.
And if you're wondering where Christian is, we've had to dispatch him there to try and get her back. I'm told she'll be back in a little more than a week. Tonight's main news, an all-night curfew has been declared in Burma's two main cities after thousands of protesters defied the authorities and took to the streets today. All the latest on More 4 News in just a few minutes. We're back tomorrow at noon, again at 7. Till then, from Samir and from me, Channel 4 News. Good evening.